So although Trump is the first to toss his name in the hat, he is not the only one who could possibly be vying for the spot. There are also talks of fellow Republicans possibly stepping into the ring. Topping the list for potential candidates include Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and even Trump's former VP, Mike Pence, who had this to say at a recent CNN town hall.
If Donald Trump were to run and win the nomination, would you support him as the nominee?
Well, let me say there may be somebody else in that contest I'd prefer more, Jack.
Anyone in mind?
But, I honestly believe we're going to have better choices.
Joining me now is Chuck Todd, moderator of Meet the Press. Good morning to you, Chuck. All right, let's jump right into it. Just one day after former President Trump announced that he's going to run for president in 2024, we have his former VP, Mike Pence, who you interviewed for the show today. He said that voters are, quote, looking for new leadership. Now, do you think he is considering running against his former boss?
Oh, 100%. I mean, he all but acknowledges it. He knows he says they're gonna discuss it with his family, but it's pretty clear he is. And the pitch he wants to make is, if you like the policies of the Trump-Pence administration, but you didn't like the drama, you didn't like the chaos, then I'm the one that can bring steadiness. I'm the Trump-Pence leader that doesn't bring chaos. It's a fine line he walks. He's very critical of the former president on all of his actions on January 6th. Then he's very critical of some of the people around the president on his actions during COVID and the coronavirus. But he's very careful, really, not to criticize the president on anything else, including on the classified document issue or any of that. And, it's a tough line. He doesn't, and he even says it, he doesn't want a broad brush sort of that the criticism of Trump somehow throws away anything that happened during the Trump-Pence years. And that's what he's hoping to preserve, that there is acknowledgement of positive things about what they did, and that it can accrue to the benefit of Pence and a presidential campaign, even if you are sour on Donald Trump and his character. So it's a fascinating line he wants to walk, because obviously if you throw away the entire Trump years, you're throwing away Mike Pence's resume too, and I think he's not prepared for that.
I'm picturing like this really high tightrope at the circus. So tell me, do you think that's a winning strategy for 2024, what Pence is doing here?
Well, it's interesting. Somebody who's close to him, said that in some ways Joe Biden might be a model for Mike Pence, and that Joe Biden in the presidential campaign was nobody's first choice, but he was nobody's last choice. And as sort of everybody kicked the tires on all these other candidates, Democrats came around to Biden. That seems to be the Pence strategy. They know they're nobody's first choice. And they want to hang around and essentially be everybody's second or third choice, but somehow can be the consensus candidate. It's not something, it is certainly how John McCain got the nomination. It's how Mitt Romney got the nomination. There certainly are paths to the nomination where somebody who's not really the first choice of anybody, but is not the last choice of everybody, can somehow get that nomination. I just don't know if that's the way it's going to work in this version of the Republican Party.
All right, Chuck, thank you so much for joining us this morning. You can watch Meet the Press at 10 right after 11 Alive, Weekend Morning News.